Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here on March the 7th, 2024. And this is a Thursday, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it is. It's Thursday. I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificently, and marvelous because I am. I'm feeling good like I know I should in the place to be, baby. So I'm up doing some things. I'm getting things done, getting myself prepared, constantly looking at what I have versus what I need. And that brings me to something, that I was, when I was out walking yesterday, I was paying attention to, just paying attention to my surroundings, which I suggest everyone does. And just, bringing in all my sensing, bringing in everything about that I've said to you about how to properly discern your situation and discern your realities, and make sure that you are grounded in your reality. I'm going to keep saying that because it's so easy to get lost in fantasies and get lost in delusions about your realities and believe that you have time. Oh, I got time. I have time. And a lot of people are hopefully recognizing that that's an illusion. Yes, there's time for everything, right? But there's no time for complacency. There's no time for procrastination. Those type of pushing it off on somebody else, and it's not my problem. Someone else will work it out, and this and that and the other. And if you have been paying attention or kind of absorbing what I've been saying all this time, you do not have the time you believe you have. Remember, we are operating in physical form right now, attempting to make things right. And also, I've told you about the fact that we do pass the baton over to other personalities. So your behavior and actions does affect your future yous, YOUs, or affects your future personalities. Even though you're going to be a fresh and clean, brand new personality once you pass that baton over, your behaviors and actions still affects them. And it'll affect them for forever. That's just how that rolls. Okay, nothing goes without having a cause and effect. So I told you, all of us are living majorly in the effects of things, in the consequences of things. And I think once that snaps into some of you, via properly thinking, you realize, uh-oh. In other words, your behaviors and actions do not go without notice. Okay, whether now or in the future. So I was out walking around, and because that's what I do when I go out. I'm observing, I'm taking in everything that I am experiencing, because when I was a first responder, I worked in neighborhoods that were considered distressed, or troubled neighborhoods or poor neighborhoods, and all of this stuff that we were being manipulated to believe. Okay. I told you when I was growing up, I did not feel poor at all. Not at all. Okay. Our neighborhoods were functioning and moving, activities everywhere. All walks of life were there. And there was a certain level of connectiveness, similarly. We were similar because, when I grew up, most of the households had a mother and a father in them. There were kids everywhere. We had plenty of physical activities. And I have realized, to me, as long as I have a good meal, okay, that makes me happy. But for some people, there's other things that make them happy. What they're wearing, and this and that and the other. And so, again, I didn't know we were poor. I didn't see anything poor about our neighborhoods, to be honest with you. Like I said, most of us, and I would say 80% of us in those neighborhoods were provided the basics. It was not until it was infiltrated. And no one's going to accept that, but that's fine. And the sad part of it, a lot of the documentations to support it are probably destroyed. A lot of the people that were involved probably have died. And so there's not going to be much that any of us can do about what happened, except to make things right as best you understand it. Okay? If you think logically, obviously something is going on and has been going on for as long as a lot of us have been born. Okay? The veils are lifting. People are getting exposed. But for a lot of us, like I said, the damage has been done. And, we were relying on the wrong type of personalities to help us through this. We had the wrong type of personalities leading this country, leading this world, when they were telling us everything we want to hear, and it continues today. But like I say, AI is going to expose a lot of that. A lot of people don't know that. I laugh because, hey, why would anyone, not consider the cause and effects of things? Why would you believe that you are perpetuating terrorism and intentional harm to citizens and people and individuals, and not know that will come back and harm you in such a way, but with more force? Cause and effect, reaping what you've sown, the boomerang. That there's no way. And the thing with the sad part is, a lot of people, because of their ignorance, did not understand the might of thoughts, the power of thoughts, and realize that your thoughts, let me turn that down, your thoughts are what determines that. Yeah, that light, if you could see me, that's fine. If you, that light bothers me. I just have to set it up properly. So if we had understood the power of our thoughts, we would have nipped a lot of this in the bud thousands of years ago, maybe millions of years ago. But some people thought they were so clever, they thought they were so sophisticated, that they could hide behind, this shield of quote unquote protection. That's all going to be collapsing. Okay, it's too late to do anything about it. I know some people think that they can do something about the upcoming events involving artificial intelligence, but it's too late. Okay, but those of us know how to manage our lives, who are actually thinking for ourselves. We know how to manage ourselves and kind of navigate ourselves through all of this, and attempt to help people. So I'll say more about that as time comes, as things unfold themselves. But it's too late to do anything about AI. Sorry. This has been in the works for almost 20, 30 years, possibly, maybe more for all we know. But I know it happened once we started going, quote unquote, online. Okay? If anybody is smart enough, let me not say that. If anyone is concerned enough, you can trace it back. Okay, the damage has been done, and especially to the hands that fed it. Oof. I don't wish harm on anyone. That's a self-created thing that people have caused themselves. Okay, the hidden hands, and especially your children and descendants, are gonna reap the effects And the more, whew, you know, Frankenstein. Just think about Frankenstein, that scientist that that demonstrates the personalities of a lot of people who are in so-called leadership positions. Thinking that you can do things behind the scenes and then it's there and no one will be able to uncover it. It's just that's why when people are not thinking properly, because they thought nothing of it. And I told you also the so-called interference with the carriers of hereditary properties. That's going to come back and bite a lot of people and cause certain races of people to go extinct, because they're not going to be able to withstand the conditions of the environment. What do I mean? Well, they're not going to be able to withstand the conditions and the environment involving the sun, involving environmental factors. We're all affected by environmental factors. Keep that in mind. We're all susceptible to anything, all of us. Whether it's cancer, this or that, and we're all susceptible. But to be unable to come outside when the sun is out, because it immediately will destroy your skin, because you don't have the proper defenses, the proper pigmentation to protect you from the sun, those kind of things. The scientists will figure that out, but the damage has been done with that because of all of the interference, So now everybody's attempting to put Band-Aids on things and think, okay, let's ban this and let's ban that, and thinking that, that's going to work. I mean, it's really comical when you if you sit back and just watch what people are doing. So when I was out walking, I was looking around, and I can sense desperation. I can sense because people are moving around. People are moving out of places and piling their stuff up in their vehicles and heading to parts unknown. Because I could see the desperation in the eyes of some, and when I was in law enforcement, I always wanted to experience this type of environment, because this is not what Black culture was about when I was growing up. Not at all. There was nothing distressed about Black culture when I was growing up. Like I said, once it became infiltrated, and there was this need to break people up and destroy their communities, well, it worked. And like I told you, eminent domain, the behaviors of eminent domain are criminal, because a lot of things were done behind the scenes, and no one knew that certain documents that illustrated that certain properties belonged to you were forged and manipulated, and all that kind of stuff took place. That's why when I was young, my dad will always say, hide your mortgage deed. I always call it a warranty deed by mistake, but he always said, hide your mortgage deed. And back in his time, it was hard to manipulate the mortgage deed if you had it in your possession. Now everything is online. Okay, and so people are sneaking, feeling so deceptive, and feel as though they're tapping into the gold, tapping in neighborhoods that are like gold, GOLD, like precious stones and this and that and the other. And they're still in that, right underneath, And I told you, in every city, every state, every county, they have these hidden forecasts, maps. I can't think of the name right now. Where they have a vision of what they want the future to be, and it's usually wiping out all type of so-called distressed communities. The blueprint. Okay. So, as I was walking around here, as I do walk around here, I always wanted to be in this type of neighborhood, like I said, because this is not Black culture at all. This has no similarity at all to what I grew up with. Let's make that very clear. These conditions are, of course, complacency, neglect, and so now people are scrambling, to get their foot grounded in some place to stay. A lot of people are going to be living in their cars. A lot of people are going to have to move together with relatives, possibly, which is, I don't see a problem with that, honestly, especially if you have an elderly relative. It's just going to test the strength of relationships, just like COVID did. COVID uncovered a whole lot of hidden challenges in relationships. How about that? In interpersonal relationships with people. A lot of people finally saw who they were married to, and understood, okay, so because, we allowed our lifestyles to blind us to red flags, so it's going to be quite interesting over the next, especially, as we're in a political season, it's just only so much one person can do. One person can't make these things right. It's going to take billions upon billions of people to make things right, and we can barely come together in communities, small communities. You think we're going to be able to come together as billions and billions and billions of people, or almost near 10 billion people? Okay, but again, I know what I'm doing, and I know that I'm resonating with people that know what this is about. We've been here before. Our past personalities were in that same type of loop of where we are now, and it's going to continue in the future. We have work to do, and we know that, and it's about the evolution of the consciousness. That's what it has always been. We were given these physical bodies to evolve our consciousness. So I'm doing my share with the people that are on my rhythm, parallel on the same kind of levels I'm on, resonating with me. And we know what we need to do, and no one needs to know necessarily. Sometimes you have to be creative. And I say you have to be creative more so than ever you've ever been in your life. Your creativity has to awaken and figure out how to get the most out of it for yourself, and the most of it out of the people that resonate with you. All we can do is help like-mindedness. Okay, and so once people realize that, it takes a lot of pressure off of them, because they realize, okay, that means taking care of myself and those that resonate with me. But the number one person that has to be taken care of is myself. If I'm not breathing, then I can't save you. That kind of concept there. So continue to keep moving, get things done, resolve things, and reach out to people that are touching you in a way that makes sense to you. Those are your like-mindedness people. I know who mine are, my Los Angels. That's what I want to call them now, my Los Angels. And see what we can do, but keep in mind, make sure that you are taken care of. Make sure you have your proper, in other words, you're properly taking care of yourself, and you do whatever you can to help others. But you know that the like-mindedness are doing the same thing. We're kind of doing the same things in several different fashions. That's why I say, as a creative person, you need to tap into your multifaceted abilities. You have more than just one. You're not just a writer, or you're not just a singer, you're not just a dancer, or you're not into artistry, or you're not just a scientist, or you're not just an engineer, you're not just this or that or the other. You're multifaceted, and you can handle it. Okay, you know what to do. You know what to do. And so my sounds and tones will reach you and alert you to, to pay attention, That's the main thing. Pay attention and make sure you are properly taken care of, because like I said, people are going to be moving around all over the place, invading cities, invading countries, invading states, invading neighborhoods, and there's not much you're going to be able to do about that because of the massive overpopulation. But keep your thoughts clear and effective, and pay attention to signs that are pointed out to you in nature. Okay, either you hear something, you feel something, you see something, and it's not supernatural, it's not ghost, it's signs. It's a particular signpost, and it's something that your consciousness can pick up without you having to really necessarily do anything, but just pay attention, make sure you're grounded, make sure, you're not delusional in your fantasies. You get the signpost that will lead you the way, align you on the proper path. Pay attention to that. It's so important. And I know a lot of things that I've said all over the course of since 2022, may not make sense, but I think I know, I'm not thinking it. I know that some people are finally snapping out of it and understand, okay, I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. And you can laugh about it. You can laugh about it, and you're not so hard on yourself. Hopefully, if some of you started taking medication, I hope you can, safely get yourself off of it. And, because I did that too. I was taking certain type of medications, and it was because of a lifestyle, lifestyle thing that can easily change. You can easily change your lifestyle. Okay. But you don't want your consciousness to be so damaged to where, and as I said, people that have these severe damaged consciousness are not listening to me anyway. Chances are they're not listening to anyone. Chances are they're just, in their abyss of deja vu, where, like I said, when people moving around here, that's all they do is move around. They're rarely stable. That's my point. They're rarely stable. Now, again, like I said, this is a temporary situation for me in this neighborhood. I'm learning so much because I wanted the experience. Okay, and I wanted to be able to compare my upbringing to what this is something else. Okay, how people are living here and the conditions, which will be reflective of a lot of other neighborhoods in the near future. Again, there are certain neighborhoods that have for years and years and years been pushing out people, claiming this and claiming that under the delusion that they deserve to live a certain way and not be concerned about others. Well, like I said, there's going to be an invasion coming near you in the near future. And a lot of people are not going to like it. And that's where you're going to pick up contradictions with people. Like, oh, I love humanity. They're quick to take money out of their pockets or take money out of their purse and hand it, or not necessarily hand it to the homeless people, but throw it at them, so to speak, like, that behavior I saw when I used to work in those communities before I retired. How the behaviors of how people are acting and carrying on, towards people who they think that they are above. And the ones that are going to suffer the most, unfortunately, are the ones who think they have the knowledge to propel themselves as something that they're not. Okay? They're conscious. Like I said, you can't fool your consciousness. So at some point, all of that stuff is going to be unveiled. You're going to realize you have been living in your fantasies and that you have been delusional for a large portion of your life, and you're not going to know what to do with yourself. Your thoughts are going to be all over the place, and you're going to just, at some point, stop thinking, honestly. build up enough dead cells in your brain, literally, to where you you start to atrophy, and then you're unreachable, and no one will be able to save you. All they can do, and the thing about what's going to happen with that, they're going to be so difficult, because these are adults, okay? They're going to be so difficult to handle because of their stubborn dispositions that some people are just going to leave these people out in the road, hide them in places where no one can get to them, hide them in places to where no one can find them, because dealing with someone whose brain cells are literally dying, that person becomes extremely, extremely difficult to handle. Their dispositions are extremely difficult to handle. I can speak from experience for that, to where it doesn't matter to them if they are urinating on themselves, defecation. I mean, what's the problem with that is what they're going to say. Why is that a problem? Taking a shower, taking a bath, eating properly, taking their medication. I mean, it's like taking care of a oversized adult. I mean, it's like a newborn, a toddler, but they're oversized adults. A lot of people are not going to be able to deal with that. Okay, and like I said, they're usually very stubborn. They know everything. They don't want you telling them anything. They are under the delusion about what they can do and what they. I mean, just pay attention. Just pay attention. I don't watch a lot of television programs out there. I do what I just surf around the net, and I'll go. I stay on YouTube a lot, but I know YouTube is filled to the rim with AI. AI is taking over YouTube, but they won't admit it. It's AI generated content. A lot of it is fake, and a lot of these people that are talking are not real. But hey, I'm still, whatever's being done, I'm still responsible for discerning it properly, whether it's AI or not. But I'm just telling you, these people are going to, like I said, their brain cells are dying. They're going to become more and more and more difficult. There is no reasoning with them. There is nothing logical with them. They're going to be extremely difficult to take care of, extremely, even if you love them. Even if you love them. The situation with my life is, certain people ought to be thankful, but they don't know that. But that people were around them to put up with them. But as time goes on, a lot of people are going to get tired of that, and they're not going to be, because they're concerned about self-preservation, which is natural. What about me? They need to save themselves. So do an inventory. The downsides if you can. I think you ought to, and ask yourself, what do you need versus what do you want? And then you can also say, what do I want versus what I need? You can do all of that. I know everything I want and everything I need, and I know that there's going to be some challenging things ahead, but I'll work it through, and I want to help others as well. But I just want to send out love to those of you that know I love you. And I want to send universal love all over the stars and moon and mountains, because, what I'm doing is genuine. Okay? So peace and love, everybody. Enjoy your Thursday. And I'm going to say bye for now, but trust me, I'll be back.